E te iwi e, nau mai, haere mai, piki mai, kake mai, tūhono mai rā ki a mātou o te pihopatango o Aotearoa. E pāho tonu nei i tēnei tikanga karakia ki ngā tōpito katoa o te ao e te iwi nau mai, piki mai, kake mai. A tuatahi rā, e tangi tonu ki ngā mate o te wā, ko tahi te mihi atu ki a koutou katoa e te hunga wairua haere, haere e mo i roto i te ariki. Hoki mai nei ki a tātou te hunga ora e tau nei, e hui tahi nei ki runga i te ipurangi, tēnei te mihi atu ki a koutou katoa. Well, good evening, world. Good evening to all of you who are joining us from the United Kingdom, from Australia, from wherever you may be in this world. It's wonderful to have you join us for Karakia this evening. As we begin a new week, we offer to God our thanksgiving, our prayers, and tonight we particularly pray for those in need, those who we know, and those who we don't know. We offer prayers for them as well. Nō reira, hashtag bring your guitar to Karakia. Let's, sorry, just different mouse this evening. Let's start our Karakia this evening with a good old himene. Just a closer walk with thee. I am weak, but thou art strong. I am weak, but thou art strong. Jesus keeps me from all wrong. I'll be satisfied as long as I walk. Let me walk close to thee. Just a closer walk with thee. Granted, Jesus is my plea. Daily walking close to thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. Oh, no tonu iara. Taku tino waiata. O te riri anake. Koiata kuhimene. Tōku ngata kuapai. No te wai ki pia ai. Awa toto heke rā. Runga i te ripeka. When my feeble life is old, time for me will be no more. Guide me gently, safely, oh, to thy kingdom shore, to thy shore. Just a closer walk with thee. Granted, Jesus is my plea. Daily walking close to thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. Tā tātou pānui I tēnei ahiahi. Our reading this evening comes from the book of Psalms, Psalm 139. You, O Lord, have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from far away. You search out my paths, my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, you, O Lord, know it completely. You hem in me, behind me, before me, and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is so high that I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit, or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in my grave, you are there also. If I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. If I say, surely darkness shall cover me, and the light around me become night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as the day, for the darkness is as light to you. Hear what the Spirit is saying to the church. Thanks be to God. For those of you who might be parents and grandparents, I guess it's the same for Karo. You have this relationship with your tamariki where when they're born, you get to know them incredibly, incredibly well. And you understand your children quite well. There's always room for surprises, as I'm sure in our daily lives, there's always room to give God a bit of a surprise as well. But as a parent, you come to understand your children in a very unique way that's so filled with aroha. I'm sure most of you watching will know I have 3 children. 2 of them, are behind me here, I Haia Rau Kahawai, and my 3rd son, Te Mahina, was born 4 months ago. All 3 of them born in the month of November. And each of them have their own little quirks. One of them isn't very good at keeping their bedroom clean. I won't name and shame. One of them is growing up and becoming quite independent. And the other one, this is probably quite obvious, still struggles to sleep through the night, which as a father who likes to enjoy sleep, I do not quite enjoy the most at the moment. But each of them unique, each of them loved. But my wife and I, as their parents, we know them incredibly well. Probably at this age, a little better than they might know themselves. And the psalm that we heard this evening is God speaking to us in that same way as a parent. It's God telling us that he knows us incredibly well. And at different points in our lives, I'm pretty sure God will know us better than ourselves. And we hear this reading, we hear from David in Psalm 139. We hear how God actively seeks out things. He searches out our path. He actively looks for us each and every day. And no matter how hard we might try or frustrated we might be, as children, we all go through this, even with our own parents. There comes a time when you get a bit ho-ha with them and you want to try and run away. You absolutely can't, no matter what. So too is our relationship with God, who will go to the ends of the sea as we seek to get away from him, and he is still there. God is with us all the time. God knows us. God actively wants to know us. And so begins this relationship between us as children, and between our Father in heaven. A relationship that as a parent, you begin to understand all its little kind of quirks and interesting natures. You know, when you tell your tamariki it's time to do the dishes and they get all stroppy, God has this exact same relationship with us. You see, God is trying to teach us to do things, willing us to be living in a certain way. And sometimes we don't always get it. And, well, he might get a little bit stroppy. I don't know. But the relationship that I have with my tamariki is one that unfolds each and every day. Something new. I learn something from them. They probably learn something from me. They're probably watching right now, either abundantly proud that I'm talking about them so much, or abundantly nervous and embarrassed. Either way, I'll hear when I get home very shortly. But the relationship that we have with God is one of a parent, is one of someone who will continue to look for us, who will continue to provide for us, who will continue to search no matter what, no matter how deep, no matter how far, no matter how bad the circumstance that we might think. God searching out for us, no matter what, is always there. That's the assurance that we are given. That's the assurance that we are given. Now, that doesn't give us free license to just kind of throw it all up in the air and absolutely ignore everything and get on out and just, ignore the way of God and the will of God. No. For all of you about ready to rush off and do whatever it is that you do. No, this is rather an assurance that when we do get things a little wrong, there's always a way back. There's always a way back. You see, God has a will, God has a way, God has a set understanding of how he wants us to live our lives. And when we live our lives informed in that way, it teaches us a whole lot of new things about ourselves, about the people around us, about the way of love, and about how we can include so many people through service, through humility, and through aroha into this way of life. Psalm 139 reminds us that we always have a God that's looking out for us, that's seeking to plan things for us, that like a parent is there all the time, watching, waiting with love and aroha, and always finding a way back no matter what. Psalm 139 is described as the inescapable God. Someone who we just can't get away from. Such as God's majesty, wonder, power, might over this world. But we don't need to be afraid of that. It's not something that we should fear, but rather a comfort that we can rest and be assured in. That as the challenges of each day comes, and as we respond, and sometimes we all do this, you respond to a challenge and you go away, and a little bit later you might think, damn, could have done it a bit better, could have done it a different way. Know that God is watching, God is with us, God is living through us in that moment, and always providing a way back to him, always providing a way back to this way of life that he has for us, that he has in store for us, that's filled with aroha, that's filled with blessing for us and for the people around us. Psalm 139 reminds us that God is always with us, reminds us that we cannot escape all of the wonderful things that God has to offer in our lives. Kua ākona nei tātou e tō tātou ariki, kia inoi tātou. Together we pray the Lord's Prayer. E tō mātou matua I te rangi, kia tapu tau ingoa, kia tai mai tau rangatiratanga, kia me te tāu e pai ai ki runga ki te whenua, kia rite anō ki tō te rangi. Ho mai kia mātou aia nei he taroma mātou mo tēnei rā. Murua o mātou hara, me mātou hoki e muru nei I o te hunga e harana kia mātou. Aua hoki mātou e kawea kia whakawaia, engari whakaorangia mātou I te kino. Nau hoki te rangatiratanga, te kaha me te kororia, ake. Āmene. E hoa kua pō. Ko te aio ko te pō. Kia tau te aio kia tātou I te aroaro o te atua. Kua pō I muri I te hihi o te rā. Tērā kua oti kua mutu, tērā ka hore anō I mutu, ki hai anō I oti, tukuna. Pōriuri ana te pō we te kina ngā here o te pō o te ao, makere ana ngā here I oto I a koe. Kua tau te pō, tukuna mā te mārie o tau ai o mātou hei awhi, me rātou huki e aroha ana mātou me te hunga kore mahaki. Ko te pō, ko te whai ao, ko te ao mārama, he rā anō tihei mauri ora. He rā hou, he rā whakahirahira, I roto I tau ingoa ka inoi mātou, haumi e, hui e, tāiki e. Tā tātou himene whakamutunga. It's a bit of a favourite of mine, this one, actually. Himene number 10, te ariki hei au koe noho ai, he punga hoki tēnei no te rā. Tu pono noa ngā mate o te ao kia tata mai hei au koe noho ai. Now, like most hymns we sing here, several different options for the rangi, for the tune. Of course, Ngira, I'm going to go for the party tune, the most exciting one of them all. Te ariki hei au koe noho, ai he ponga hoki tēnei no te rā. Tūpono noa ngā mate o te ao, kia tata mai hei au koe noho ai. Te ariki hei au koe noho, ai he ponga hoki tēnei no te rā. Tūpono noa ngā mate o te ao, kia tata mai hei au koe noho ai. Ngā e ora ai te tangata, anō he tai e te muatu nei, ke koe te take o te oranga, kia tata mai hei au koe noho ai. Te ariki hei au koe noho, ai he ponga hoki tēnei no te rā. Tūpono noa ngā mate o te ao, kia tata mai hei au koe noho ai. Whakaria mai tori pe kakia, ti aho mai raroto i te pō, kona au ti tiro atu ai, ora mate hei au koe noho ai. Te ariki hei au koe noho, ai he ponga hoki tēnei no te rā. Tūpono noa ngā mate o te ao, kia tata mai hei au koe noho ai. Kei aku rangatira, ka nui te mihi o te ngākau kia koutou katoa. Tēnā koutou ko tūhono mai kia mātou ki te pihopatanga o Aotearoa. Mo tēnei o ngā tikanga Karakia I pāho atu kia koutou katoa. Thanks for joining us. E te iwi nui tonu. Hope you have a wonderful week. Hope you continue to live your week, live your life in the goodness of God. And always remember that God is incredibly close to us, always with us, ever looking out for us, ever wondering and hoping for the best plan possible that we have in his life. Nō reira, mā te māri a te atu e kore nei e tāia te whakaro. E te aki o koutou ngākau o koutou hinengaro I roto I a karaiti ihu kia mau. Kei hoki tonu kia koutou katoa te manaki a te atu a kaharawa, a te matua, a te tama, a te wairua tapu. Aia nei a ke tonu atu. Amene. Make sure to come back on Wednesday and Friday evening where Brother Zane and Canon Chris will be leading us for our evening karakia for the rest of the week. Ko te pihopatanga o Aotearoa tēnei ka mihi, tēnei kua ngū mo tēnei pō, e te iwi e, pō māri e, tēnā koutou katoa.